Organitics, welcome to Organic as Fuck Talk is Pretty B, baby.
It's the Lovebug. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, we're going to jump into the vibe of the day, and I'm going to go first today, y'all. So, one of my vibes of today is going to be, well, two things. It's my Selenite Wand and my Lepidolite from Leo Movement. This has been my mood all day today.
That's what's up.
And then also, I have water, alkaline water.
All right now.
And then y'all know I always got a song. So this is going to be about what we're talking about today. Finding your way back and finding these different things.
Find your way back. Big world, but you got it, baby. Find your way back.
That's my song. That's my song for today.
Yes, I love that song. I love that video. The graphics and things in that video, the vibrant colors, and I love how she uses herself. Like I think herself, she's playing herself as an ancestor in that video. I read the description, and I thought that was just like so dope.
It was like find your way back, baby. Find your way back. Because we're gonna be talking about the coping methods. Yes.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's what's up. So love it. Perfect. You always have the perfect audios to songs and things to go with the mood.
Yes, I keep them on deck.
Right. My vibe of the night is my turmeric, cinnamon, saffron, cardamom.
Yes.
This right here. I ordered this initially because just being a celiac, and anytime I have like a reaction to gluten, I would have like these certain things that would happen, like brain fog, body pain, and I wasn't absorbing my nutrients and things like this. And this was one of the things to help me. But being that I'm finding out how celiac disease has affected my thyroid, I bought this right back out. So anybody that has thyroid issues, arthritis issues, it's great at helping enhance mood and memory, encourages conversion of glucose to energy, supports healthy joint function, encourages immune and digestive systems. Like I actually doubled up on it right now.
Those are all amazing blends. I love those blends.
I
love those. Turmeric, I put it in everything.
My other vibe, which I am not doing right now, but I definitely did today, is rest. It is important to rest. Like, we don't feel tired all the time. Sometimes we can keep going, and it's good to push yourself and step out of what you would normally do. But sometimes, even if you have the energy, or maybe you just feel a little bit taxed, you have to take a step back and relax. So yeah, those are my two vibes.
I love it.
Yay!
So we are talking about coping methods today.
Yeah, coping mechanisms. I actually have a definition, right? Coping mechanism is definitely a psychology term.
Yeah, it is.
Coping mechanisms are strategies people often use in the face of stress and or trauma to help manage painful or difficult emotions. Coping mechanisms help people to adjust to stressful events while helping them maintain their emotional well-being. So that is the definition of coping mechanisms.
Yeah. I mean, a lot. There's so many different coping mechanisms, good and bad, because you can make something, a way that you cope and it's not healthy, and then you also have healthy ways of coping.
Too much of anything, as they say. Too much of anything can be a bad thing. Yeah. And I think we have conscious coping mechanisms, and then we have some that we do unconsciously that we can become aware of, right?
Yeah.
Because one of my coping mechanisms that I realized that I had was the ability to distract myself. Okay. And I am so darn good at it. I will make myself like busy. When trying not to really directly deal with something, oh, trust me, the schedule will look nice and tight. I'm telling you, just from whatever it is that I'm studying to whatever it is that I'm looking at, I have a way of making myself busy. And I didn't realize it. I did not realize it initially. Like, it actually within the last few years, it's something that I picked up on that I was doing, and kind of had to redirect myself, which is when I really got more serious with meditation. But I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. And I would just kind of make myself busy and unavailable to whatever it is that I was kind of trying to avoid and not deal with on that level. And that was like an unconscious coping mechanism. Like, that's how I kept myself sane, by distracting myself.
Right. Yeah. I used to have unhealthy coping mechanisms. Like, one of my unhealthy coping mechanisms before was shopping.
Oh yeah.
And the cold part is, I can do, we know, I would do it, but it was my coping mechanism across the board. Mad, sad, happy, free. I'ma go
shopping.
Yeah, that was some years ago, but once I learned it, a good way that you can deal with that for the shoppers out there is, I would go online and put stuff in my cart and not buy it.
Oh yeah.
And come back a couple of days later or some weeks later, just to see, did I really want that, or was I in my feelings, and just click. So I would do that, or I would just go in a store and kind of look around, because I'm a person that still likes to go and just see what's out there, whatever. Depending on what store it is. But that was one of the ways I helped myself. And then also, of course, meditation, because if you really stop, you give yourself time, So
no, shopping was one. I didn't want to cut you off. What'd you say?
No. I was just saying, So if you just take the time, you might don't gotta buy it. And online, I say it's the best, because you can put $3,000, $5,000 worth of things in your shopping cart, and you ain't gotta buy it right then and there.
Yeah, I did that, and then, because I was financially challenged at the time when I was like heavily into it, I started finding alternative methods to get the shopping part out of me being better, right? So like, I would be like, okay, well, I only have $50 to blow, basically, right? To go and have therapy after my therapy with, right? And I started doing stuff like, I would buy marbles and rocks and bamboo plants and make different little plants, and then I would be gifting plants and stuff. Like, it was, so now I combine the shop therapy with artistic therapy, which is a very huge thing for me. Like, I have to have artistic outlets. So I would then get to play with the plant dirt, the rocks, and then I would make something that visually pleased me. And that was, it was healthy for the most part. But what wasn't healthy about it was when I did it and I would blow the budget on something else.
Yeah.
Would not be cool.
Like, we've done that. Yeah, mine switched into customizing, which was good because it made me money too. Like, starting to customize different things or find things in my room, because I have so much stuff, and doing stuff like that. And then also, I like home stuff now, but like yes, I set budgets.
Oh yeah. And one of the coping mechanisms that I picked up that was not a healthy one, right? Especially like we just said, too much of anything in access, excessively is not healthy, and that would be drinking. And I would have shots. I would get creative with the shots. I'm laughing right now, but listen, like, it was not cool. I mean, I have me some sliced lemon or orange or whatever, and let me make a mojito. Like I'm learning how to make different
Drinks,
alcoholic
making them
drinks.
cute.
I was making them cute and everything. But I was using it to cope. I was using it to cope, and that wasn't necessarily a good thing. And I've also used marijuana as a way to cope. I've used marijuana in different ways. Marijuana can be very therapeutic, but I've
Yeah.
also used marijuana to cope into and I feel like it only became healthy when I was using it to calm me down in situations where I didn't need to be calm. Like that wasn't necessarily the vibe that needed to be going on at that time. And I
Right.
would be calming myself down at a time where maybe I need to take a particular action, or maybe I needed to just brainstorm some more or something else. I don't know. I was using it in different ways. Um, and I think that's something that only really you can call yourself out on, or
Yeah.
because you really know what's happening at the time that you choose to roll up or whatever it is, or pour up.
Yeah, you
you
definitely
know
gotta. Yeah, because I can remember a time, where when I did used to drink, and I wasn't like heavy, but I did notice sometimes I would drink when I'm gonna go get this bottle of wine, and because it's wine, it's okay, but it's not okay when you're going through something, you drinking the whole damn bottle of wine, or different things like that.
yeah.
Alcohol began not to sit well with me. It does not work with my spirit. It gives me anxiety. It's just not good for me now. And when I was younger, I didn't even realize that it would give me anxiety, but in different ways. That I didn't know until I got older and drank too much and had an attack, an anxiety attack. So,
Wow.
yeah, and so I can't drink alcohol now at all. Like, so I don't do it. Um, and then there have been points before when I would smoke, and when using it as a coping method. Now when I smoke, I don't. I'm intentionally smoking because and that's why I take detoxes and things like that. So that it's not a habit.
Oh
uh
yeah.
oh yeah, that's what I got to do. And if I'm really, you know me personally, so if I'm really going through something, then I'm probably gonna put the blunt down for a minute,
Oh
so
yeah.
so that I make sure I'm not relying on it.
Right. I think any. I have a moment or two in my life where I've experienced extreme trauma and I could not smoke or drink, but maybe after some time I could in a later result of it, but not initially. Um, and then I had like whole like routines that became a habit, right? Like so, it could be like you said, I'm gonna have this bottle of wine. I'm gonna watch my show with it. I didn't cook my dinner. Everything is set up right. This is just what I do, right? But I think that there's a fine line in between what you like to do in comfort and what it is that you're doing to cope with something maybe that's unspoken, or maybe it's just this is how you're getting by right now. Like I think it's a fine line between some of those things, because you could still
Yeah.
have drinks and like to make mojitos and things like that and not be coping with anything. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right, because there's people that have a glass
line.
of wine every night with their meal, and that's
Yeah.
what they do, and they like to do that. Yeah, when I was doing it, I was definitely like, I'm going through something. I'm about to go to a store and buy this and drink it. So I knew what I was using it to do, and that's when I was like, okay, no.
Yeah. Yeah. I think another coping method that is kind of subtle, and maybe some people do it excessively and some people do it just a little bit, um, is sleeping.
Oh yeah,
Um, a
yeah.
lot of people just like let's just be done with this thing.
I've done it. So yeah.
But I have known some people that sleep excessively, like
Yeah.
it's like a heavy. And I actually, when I was looking online at some of the coping mechanisms, that was one of the things that came up, and I thought about it, and I was like, I've observed this before. You know what I mean? I've seen this before.
Yeah.
And also, not only that, I'm a person that will take a nap to reset some shit real quick. Like,
See, I didn't start until I got a little bit older because I was on go, 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 go. I couldn't like take naps. I was the type of person that unconsciously made myself busy and on go all the time, and I didn't take naps. When I discovered the nap as an adult, it is like now, like it's intentional, like, oh, I'm about to go take me a good nap and get some good rest. Or if I had been up the night before, doing stuff like I was last night working, and doing a lot of stuff. So then I slept in more today, and this morning. But yeah,
it is a difference. Like, do you see how I mean? Like, it's kind of like there's really a fine line in between.
Because there's some people that really excessively sleep, and they're like, I love sleep. And I wonder sometimes is there something subconsciously
going on
that they're coping with and they don't know.
Yeah, because I feel like, well, are we kind of doing two different topics? We're not. No. But I think it's a fine line in between these things. I think another coping mechanism that I used to have, I'm so glad that I do have it, but it's not the same as it was before. Is eating. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Listen, if nothing else was good, my food was gonna be good. Like I would need some flavors, like just give me, because you know, good food gives you a good dopamine rush, right? Like, but you're not thinking about that while you just want to eat something good. Like, I gotta have something good. And I think what made me really realize it is that I got upset one day or something, and I was just like, I need to go eat. Like, I want to go eat. I think and I was just like, damn, why do I always have to go eat? And eat was one of my happy, sad, angry. No matter what the mood was, it was about the food. And I think because it's like a part of American culture, like everything is centered around food.
Yeah, everything is centered around food and eating.
Yeah, and but food was one of the things. Okay, so here's the next thing that I think. I think that we learn coping mechanisms through observation.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that. We really
I think that's a huge part of it. Like, if you saw like your mom, your aunt, your grandmother, whoever else, like extremely stressed, and they stepped outside to smoke that cigarette, or they poured that drink, or they slept excessively, or what else did we cover? They shopped excessively. Like, when you have a high moment of stress, you tend to lean towards those things unconsciously.
Yeah.
You know, I tried a cigarette. Can you believe that? I tried a cigarette.
Girl, I tried as in middle school. We wasn't supposed to. I almost damn near died. First of all, I've never been
with this.
Girl, I've never been a person that can stand cigarette smoke. My mother used to smoke cigarettes and she stopped, thank God, 3 years. Shout out Michelle. But she used to smoke cigarettes and I hated it. I literally cannot stand the smell of cigarettes. It is not the same as weed. It is just not. I'm sorry, it's not. And I couldn't stand it. So me and my friend, you know, both our parents smoke cigarettes. And we called ourselves like, let's see what this do, you know, like, I think I was so young, and I choked off that damn thing. So it was so disgusting. I never wanted to smoke a cigarette after that ever again. Well, I can't stand cigarettes to this day.
I feel like just about like a whole lot of people in my family smoke cigarettes, and I hate cigarettes. I hate the way it smells. I hate it on people's hands, on people's clothes. I can smell it in my mom's purse. I hate it.
I hate cigarettes. Yeah,
right? But
it's like the worst smell.
Maybe maybe I just need to have a cigarette. What's this cigarette about, right? Because I can't listen. If you could see, and I feel like just about everybody in my family makes the same face with their cigarette, right? Like when they go to step outside and you can see
and they hold it,
or on the patio, and they this exhale with this look of
yes, and then you be thinking you gonna get that same old
nacho. So look, I got some cigarettes. My sister was like, "Oh, you could get singles at this store, whatever else." So I'm like, "I'm gonna go get me some singles because I'm gonna try this shit."
When was this?
This is like 2007.
I'm done.
Somewhere,
I am
right?
done.
And so like I go and get them. And I'm looking for the whole moment. The moment that I see everybody do outside on the porch on the patio, I'm looking for this moment, right?
So you get on the patio and get ready, huh?
Yes. The whole moment, like I'm about to do this, right? Got the cigarette and I lift that shit and inhale and got a head rush and somebody, I said, wait a minute, whoa. I said, So people lightweight stepping out and smoking cigarettes and getting kind of high, like not high, but kind of like for real? Like you mean people be at work going outside and take a cigarette break? But it just
my lungs didn't feel right. To me, it is not the same as smoking weed. Like when I hit that shit, I thought I died. I was on the floor. I was like, what the fuck is this?
It was strong, it stunk, and it gave me like a head rush or something like I just didn't like it. I just did not like it. I was
you feel like your breath stank off top.
And your breath stank, your hands stank, your hair stank. Like I put that bad boy out and I was like, nope, never, not for me. Tried it.
It's like something that stays with you, whereas if you smoke, you stand outside, you air yourself out a little bit. You know, you all right. A cigarette, you gonna smell that, and it's a disgusting smell to me. But I know some people that don't like marijuana smell either. But
yeah, no, I smell it though. I don't care. Like I think you can kind of air yourself out to a certain extent. But if somebody got a blunt on them that they didn't let and put out, I don't care how they wash their hands, what perfume they spray on them.
Oh yeah, you gonna smell it. They have to put it all the way up.
If they got a cigarette, yeah, you gonna smell it. Like so. I don't know, but but learned behavior. I did see everyone having that moment and relaxing, including my sister. My brother smoked cigarettes too, and I just was like, I'm gonna have me a cigarette. I'm so glad that I did not like that shit. Like I am so glad. Like that was not it for me. Like seriously. Yeah.
Cigarettes was not it, and it really was something. You thought it was going to be just this. That was my view of it. My grandma smoked cigarettes, you know. My mom has smoked cigarettes, all my aunties, you know. So I'm seeing all these women, and I had some males, but you see these women, and you see this little stand,
this whole and
you just want to see what that feel like, and then you go back to like society and it being plastered everywhere, making it seem like, oh, you're a woman. Oh, you know, when they had the pictures of the woman. And you like, okay, well, let me try this at this one moment.
Like it's got an elegance to it or some shit. No, TV, though. TV, what I realized that one thing that I really realized that TV pushes so much more now than cigarettes. But back in the day, though, it wasn't not a scene without a cigarette. Is alcohol, but wine and alcohol. And it's like, I really started to peep that when I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm not drinking anymore, right? And I'd be watching something on TV. I don't care if you watching Girlfriends. I don't care if you watching whatever.
Glass of wine, champagne,
it's a glass of wine. It's a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
So it's like being embedded into our mind. You know, that the lifestyle of alcoholism. Excuse my little lash over here. I'm gonna take it off.
Show a blooper if you see her take off her lash in the video.
Look, first to take my hair down. Now we're gonna go ahead and take the. But But yeah, no, I realized that, and I thought about like what are some of the other subconscious things that television is giving to us as coping mechanisms, because definitely drinking and smoking.
Yeah, definitely drinking and smoking. Now you have, you
And
know,
gluttony, eating, like
gluttony,
eating.
eating. Now you
Yeah.
have, now it's just not drinking and smoking. Now you got all these
Sex.
multitude of things, because at one point it was pushing the syrup, popping pills, all these different things,
Mm-hmm.
that is constantly, and then, these are things that numb you. And so when you're hearing it in the songs you're saying, you hearing them say, I took this to numb my pain, and different things like that. And so it's so much. It's so much. And that's why, for me, doing cannabis, I I have to take those detoxes. I have to. If I'm going through something, put it down, because I don't want to be numb when I'm going through something.
Yeah.
Especially if it's
Yeah.
something like traumatic. I can see if it's something that kind of like, oh, let me, today I had a long day and now I'm about to relax and I want to relax. And
Right.
so, I'll smoke or something. But if I'm actually like going through something and it's and I need to feel, I need to understand and comprehend, no.
Right. Yeah. It's a no. So, what are some of the conscious coping mechanisms that you find yourself using now in high stressful times, where it's important to keep your your emotional well-being?
Yeah, a big thing for me, is taking a moment to myself. It's taking a moment, taking some breaths. Like, I like doing breath work. And so for me, taking a moment to myself, doing some breath work, um, meditating, going for a walk. A big thing which physically transformed me was working out. I started turning things into working out. And at one point it was bad because I was working out 7 days a week, before. And then I had to gradually, give myself time and find a balance with it. But a big thing for me, which became really healthy to me once, I'm taking my breaks and knowing, is working out, breathing, breath, doing something creative. I'm a creative person. So, doing something creative. If I felt at any point I'm too, like, I can't sit still, then maybe I'm gonna go for a walk and I'm gonna breathe. And then if I feel like, I need to talk about it with somebody, then I have my my people that I'm gonna call, Lovebug being one, and saying, hey, and calling someone that's not gonna amp me,
Mm-hmm.
but help me balance me. But first, trying to balance myself, taking a moment, not reacting so quickly on the
Yeah.
emotion. But yeah, I love things like, and I would go to the park a lot. Like, I would go to the park, feed the birds, or just go sit down, grab me, like, if I'm hungry or something, grab me a little smoothie or whatever, do lunch there, however, or just go sit at the park with a book. I would pick up my book. I got just all these different things, um, that became daily habits and hobbies that I just started doing. Like, you know what? When I, uh, not too long ago, um, maybe about 2 years ago, um, I can remember going through something very, stressful, and, working out instead. And it clicked in my mind was to, if, if I picked up a blunt and smoked it when I was stressed, first of all, it just numbed me for that moment. And it did not do anything else for me because I wasn't in a mind frame to meditate. And if I was meditating, now, depending on what I would smoke, all of those negative thoughts is running through my mind, which is not healthy for me, for my health, physical, emotional, all of that well being. And then I probably had shit to do that I didn't get done because I sat there and probably spoke more than I would have if I was just like smoking and writing up something, or doing some marketing things, and I hit my little blunt and just get in my zone. But now I can't be in my zone because, for one, it's a situation that caused me to do that. And so once I seen the outcome of working out versus, I can get upset and go run. And I'm not a person that runs, but now, I like to run here and there or sprint, or I can go lift these weights, and then I just burn calories for one. And and then after that, if I feel, and afterwards, I'll realize that I'm thinking and I'm releasing things in, it's a different mind frame. It's I'm like, okay, I might not be fully over the situation, but it's now I can sit there and not react so quickly. So working out is a big one for me. Like working out, going for a walk in nature is a big thing for me. Going to the park is a big thing for me. Music, and being careful of the music I listen to, because I am a music lover. So if I'm going through something, I may want to play something not that's going to make me angry, something that's definitely going to like mellow me out, and maybe I can either relate to it, or it's definitely going to uplift me.
Yeah.
So and yeah, like I said, going to the park, reading my book, focusing on myself. I realized, like, if I just use coping mechanisms that help me to better myself, taking classes, different things like that. If I always, use how can you lose when you're blowing yourself up, and writing stuff down. Writing, I have a journal, and so writing. So I have all these different things.
Yeah, lots of different methods. I've used a lot of those, if not all of them. I think early on, I like how you said going to the park, because I can remember in my early days, like especially after I had a car, I would just drive to the marina and sit by the water.
We done did that.
I would watch
that was me too. I would go to the marina when I was upset, and I would find water. But water in when I got to Vegas.
I didn't know what I was doing then, but it naturally felt good. And
I went to the marina a lot.
I went to marina a lot. There's this park that me and my daughter called the Sand Park, and it's funny because she asked me can we go there the other day, and I would take my shoes off, bury my feet in the sand, and I would sit and just feel the breeze. I would go for a walk. Those are some of the things that I did early on without really even knowing what it was that I was, the benefits of those things, to put your feet down into the earth and things like that. And one of the things that I know about myself is that I've always been a meditator on some form or fashion, even if it was to escape my environment within myself, right? Because sometimes as a kid, you don't have drugs available to you. You don't have, what are you going to go do? Go sniff a crown? Like, you can't, you know what I mean? You don't have drugs available to you. And so a lot of times I would have to go within myself. And that was a very early form of meditation, where I was able to maintain a form of peace. Right. And then getting older again, consciously, I did keep a journal for some time. And actually burning that journal was very therapeutic. Eventually,
that's always therapeutic, isn't it? When you like, I don't need this anymore. I don't write as much.
And I read them, and I was like,
I just did that with mine, because I just or sometimes ripping it up. I don't keep a journal like I used to, where I used to write all the time. Now it's probably every blue moon I might go write something down, and I go back and see, what it is, and sometimes it's time to rip it up. Or burn.
I'll clean to transform my environment, because I am very my environment affects me a lot. So like if my room it has started to get cluttered or whatever else, sometimes cleaning is a coping mechanism in itself. turn on the music, shift the environment and the mode of the house. And now, like, we got sage and Palo Santo, we got essential oils for a purpose. Now we got
give me some frankincense oil and some myrrh, some Palo Santo.
Audio frequencies. I'm doing some mantras. I am really
and cleaning for me too. I'm a daily cleaner, but I'm a daily cleaner freak. But going in and rearrange, you just seen me redo my
sometimes
closet.
rearranging, organizing, and then sometimes for me it's throwing stuff away. It could be an article, and I notice that I tend to do it now, like just to shift modes. Like it could be not throwing away, but donating, giving away. We're gonna take everything from this period to, you know what, I really don't need to wear that anymore. It already holds a vibration, whatever. I'm shedding.
That's what I'm doing now. I have clothes in my trunk now because when I just redid my closet, you just see me redo my 2 closets. And so, I do things like that. Yeah,
getting rid of old energy. And we already said, but look, meditation is really seriously my thing, like in different forms of it. That is so totally my thing. I don't care if it's meditate in the shower, take a walk and meditate, driving. Going for a drive is so therapeutic for me. I don't know, a familiar route, especially just let it just drive and let the sun, feel the sun. I might roll the windows down, I might not. I might turn on some music and let music play. It might be silent. Going for a drive is definitely a coping mechanism for me. Like if I let me take a minute to gather my thoughts. A drive does that for me.
I used to do it way more frequently before than now, but going for a drive and some good music.
I used to hit 580, go all the way downtown till it loops around to the
and then you get
like he was going for a drive.
Because ain't nobody trying to get on 880 and do no cute drive like that. It's 5. You got to be on the 580.
Go for a drive. And I still do it though. I still do it. But it may not, it's not one of my favorite ways because I have so many things in my lifestyle now that prevents me from it. Actually, like I want to say my coping mechanisms have become a lifestyle, right? Because now the biggest part of that was self-observation. We talk about that so much, right? Because being able to see what methods you're using to cope and being able to see what actually works for you and increasing that, and then trying new things. And then when I didn't have, because I'll get into some, I love that my daughter is my daughter because we can share these things. I could get it for her and then mess with it. Some clay, painting, coloring. And when I can't do that, I have an app on my phone where I can pull out the stylus and it might be all the ones are red, right? All the 2s are red and it's intense and it will clear my head, right? And I actually have a book that it's like an adult coloring book basically, but it's just a whole bunch of different little shapes and I would shade them in with pencils. I would do that while sitting, taking a break from the sauna. That was one of my hugest things, but I still do it. So this day, even if it's just the app on my phone, I realize that it's something that allows me to clear my mind. So now more instead of coping, I am giving myself the space to process my thoughts and then proceeding forward with a plan. And then if it's something that is like a little bit heavier, let's just say it's a little bit more emotionally taxing, I give myself space. I have to give myself space. And the way that I go about doing that is just by creating some quiet, a little bit more quiet time so that I can be with self and really observe myself, because a lot of people will start to spaz out because they don't know what's wrong with them. It takes for them to flash on somebody else and for somebody else to be like, what's the matter with you? You've been acting the fucking fool. Well, actually, I guess I might be a little upset,
because sometimes they don't realize, they're that upset or upset, and it does take that. And I like that you said, like, the things that we do now have become lifestyles, because everything that I named is my lifestyle. And a lot of times what some people will find out is that your coping methods are your lifestyle. Your coping methods are your lifestyle. And sometimes if you switch those to positive coping methods, that might be your talent. You might find that you have a talent. It's part of your purpose. If you don't dumb it down with medications and a whole bunch of weed and alcohol, and that's me saying it as a weed smoker, like you find some of your you'll find a lot of your talents. If you start playing with healthy ways, you might be a writer and don't know. Might. Another thing for me that was
it's really like me. I like to customize furniture. That's another thing that clears my mind. I would go to the Goodwill or anything else if I can find like an old vase or whatever it is, especially if it's wood. And I'm gonna get in. Recently, I started messing with calligraphy, which is basically burning into wood and stuff and creating designs. But wood, if I'm a carve something, I'm a mess with it a little bit. I'm gonna be so relieved at the end of the day. And that's one of the things that I look into developing more. Like, hey, I got a little edge for this right here.
That's how Fashion Be Fixed was created. I was in a depressive state that no one barely knew I was in, because I did not grieve properly when my great-grandmother passed, which I call grandma. And I had all these different things going on. I was at a job that I didn't like. I was sitting in the office and I was like, why do they charge what they do for these shoes? And I've always been a person that have been creative. And I was like, I want to make me a pair of those shoes. And I was literally just doing it as a hobby to release some stress. And I didn't know, I was sitting there, I was depressed, and I was looking up these things, and I went home and made the shoes. And damn, now the internet and everybody's like, those are dope. So yeah, play with different things. You just, and literally that, and after I made that shoe, 2 months later, I was in New York at Fashion Week and in a photo shoot with someone wearing a pair of my shoes and doing an interview in New York. And so you just never know, because like I said, it becomes like I used to do hair.
Me too.
And I went to beauty school. Because I said, I don't want to do hair no more. I want to go do something else. I want to make money. And,
well, I didn't used to do hair like you. I used to braid hair. Let's say that.
I braid. But everyone thought I was gonna be a hairstylist. Yeah. Everybody did. That's what I was supposed to be. That's what was supposed to be. But and then you'll figure out some things you don't like, because I like to do hair. I like to do hair when I like to do it.
Yes.
And I realized that, it's not a career for me, because when I would do it, I started off doing it because I was young with really long hair, really curly hair, and I didn't like to get my hair done. And I was tender-headed. I don't like my hair hurting. So I learned to do my own hair.
Yeah.
And then it became a habit, and I would, do everyone else's hair. And then I got tired of it because it was hard on my body. But it's so many different things you can find about yourself when you look at what coping methods you use.
Yeah, it's very true. And I'm looking at that too, because I'm thinking about photography is another thing for me that I will pick up, and nature shots, from the trees to the birds to the insects, and it's quiet and I'm observing something in its natural state. And I realized that all, like, it's all kind of tying into things that I'm really into. You know what I mean? Like,
I would pick up with fashion.
Sway of something. Yeah.
I would pick up fashion, photography with fashion and on a smaller level. But it ended up rolling me into, like, I really do like fashion. I really do like this. And it's different ways you can express yourself. You don't have to always pick up something to numb yourself. Sometimes you need to feel that. Sometimes that builds character. Just like how you hear a lot of people say the struggle builds the character. No, what you go through, what you feel, how you get through it, how you deal with it, that's what builds character.
That shows you
not
who
the
you
fact
are.
that you can numb it. You go through some shit and you can numb it, and so now you're doing better because you numbed your way through it. For one, when I become a parent, I want to be able to tell my children I want to be an example
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, I want to be an example of how to cope in a healthy manner. And I want them to see all these different things of my lifestyle so that they don't see me automatically like, oh, mom gets really angry and then she picks up the blunt. Like,
because you're going to teach them subconsciously and unconsciously, like you're going to directly teach and show them things, and then from their observation they are going to learn things, so it's you would want it to be a lifestyle.
And I want them to know that, like, you don't have to have something in your cup or this to have a good time, or I have nieces and nephews, and so I love my babies. And so I want to be able to be an example to all them. So a lot of my lifestyle changes, a lot of the things which made me explore switching things that I did, because I was raising a child. I was raising my little cousin, and I was like, that helped mature me, because I had to start turning different things into something else, because I have a whole little human being, watching me, and a teenage human being at that, watching me, and I didn't do everything perfect, but, especially now that I am older, I try to, like, I want to be an example to my.
Glad that you said that, right? Because I have a lot of adults who say to me, right, with LIL movement, I don't know what my passion is anymore. I don't know what I'm passionate about anymore, right? And then I have a lot of people who watch me with my child and how I'm raising her, right? Because I was someone who lost contact with passions, right? And what I'm starting to do is tie something together, right? Because sometimes trauma can disconnect you from your passion, and you get into coping and surviving mechanisms, right? And so it was very important to me that my child didn't lose her passion. So anything that she showed interest in, I amplified, right? Like whatever it was that she liked, or she was interested, whatever way that I could find for her to be more involved in that activity, that's what I gave to her, right? So it's funny how we just talked about how, like, sometimes when you're getting into coping, you can start to find your passions there. You can start to find what you're good at if you avoid doing a lot of escaping in a bad way. Because sometimes when people, like, you got people like what I'm thinking about right now is as Chris Brown, a very artistic person, and he talks about like his drawing and his art that he creates and the emotion that he's able to release when he does that. He actually uses his passion to cope. And I think that when you really figure that out about yourself, you begin to develop and grow into a different person. And if you have a parent who helps you stay connected to your passions, then you don't become this adult who's just been surviving for so long and again trying to figure out what it is that they like to do.
Yeah, because you'll get a lot of because we use Chris Brown, dudes that are like, I've heard dudes say like, well, I gotta get high and go and rap. If you a rapper, okay, that's cool. You might flow. If that's your true passion, talent, what can you do sober?
Yeah.
What does that look like? What does it look like when you sober? Because a lot of y'all, a lot, big celebrities too, and I listen to all music, y'all pushing the narrative to pop pills, do this and do that. What else can you rap about? Can you rap about that addiction? Can you rap about what it's like to come off that addiction? What is it like to rap about, girls and guys? What is it like? What are some other things? Like, you can be the dopest, whatever you want to be. If you like you said, if it's my passion, then I'm gonna wake up wanting to do it. I ain't gonna have to wake up, light a blunt to do it.
But if you are a person that has to light a blunt to do it, how is that marijuana freeing you?
Exactly.
And how can you step into that free state without the marijuana? Because I guarantee you that it exists. Because I know, even for myself, like I appreciate a good fuck it moment, a good woo-saw, a good
Oh
I'm
yeah, for
just chilling,
sure.
but I have found other things that I don't even want to say give me a high, but other things that relax and stimulate me in the same way that that cannabis did. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
and it's
if you
like your
are not,
environment. Go in the
yes,
studio and light. Go in the studio and light up a candle and light some sage and some Palo Santo toast, and you know,
yeah,
do a little meditation and see what kind of vocals you come out. Like, have you tried it? Is what I'm saying. Because sometimes, I could light a blunt and write up a whole marketing thing. Like, and some of my ideas do come in with that.
yeah.
But I know what
I
I'm
have studied in depth.
in college in psychology. I passed with an A. I was high majority of the time from every paper right before class. Never did a rough draft, and we get A's and B's on my paper because I can write really, really well. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I can also write really well. That same way I can write that, I can write unhigh. You know, and it's so like we hear so much of it. Okay,
I
yeah,
think
we
a
want
lot
our
of
kids
people
to have
don't
a good
feel
time.
the creativity until they have had the stimulation of a drug, right? Which
Yeah,
lets you know, like, because like all drugs aren't bad things. A lot of them are meant to be used in particular ways.
to
We just tend
stimulate
to
you.
abuse them, or
Yeah.
the you have people who took it and turned it into something else. You know, as far as drugs go, but it stimulates you and it does something for your mind. So I think if we look at more ways of opening and stimulating our mind outside of things that can negatively affect our health when used excessively, I think you have found something. You found the
Yeah,
key
that's what I'm trying
to
to get
unlocking
into saying.
yourself.
Like, yeah, and then sometimes you just got like my nephew one time turned on a song and the voice sounded high as
Yeah.
fucking Cook Brown. You know what I'm saying? And and it wasn't weed high, and the boy was young, and he was singing a mantra that was something like "kill myself" or "kill him." I had to tell my nephew turn that off.
Mm,
Because some of y'all is getting high and y'all don't even know the frequencies you are sending out
yeah. Yeah.
underneath the influence. It's one thing you get high and you can tell a whole story or you can do some real, good
Mm-hmm.
music. It's another when you are influencing, whether you like it or not. As an art, since we're speaking on artists,
Yeah.
you're an influencer. Period. Point blank. Once you signed up for that, that's what you signed up to be. You may didn't sign up to be a role model or anything like that. But it's influencing, and it's like, because some of the things I'm hearing high, I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, what?
What
Let me
is
hear what
this
you sound
shit?
like not high, and see
Yeah,
if you
especially
really
that
have a talent. Because what the fuck?
that one guy, my daughter tries to put him on sometime, and I'd be like, what is what is that? It's some, but I like would not to get off subject, but yes, there is some music that comes on. I'll be like, what the fuck is this shit? Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what
want
I
to
was
hear
getting with it. Because
this.
there's some people that can go and go in.
Yeah.
We know some of the biggest rap. They can go and go in, like, but also like you said, excessively using it, and then
Yeah, just getting out of control with it. Like, like I said, I've written out many business plans, strategic measures, and felt really
oh yeah,
good
me too,
while doing it.
baby.
But then I would get mad while trying to go to create the visual, and I'm like this.
I look too high. Yeah, yeah.
I
Because
would be
I ain't
like,
knocking you. I'm not knocking y'all, but when you just using it and gotta have it, and I'm more so saying about the, because I guess I'm biased on this because I'm saying more so about like the drug heavy use, the alcohol heavy use that turns into just craziness. And even I've seen people smoke weed like it's cigarettes, like back to back
yes,
to back. I'm like,
yes.
doing that.
I mean, so like we said, anything excessively can become a bad thing.
Anything excessive.
Yeah. So I think if you are, we have to say stuff like this, right? If you are in a position where you find that your coping mechanisms have gotten beyond you, you should definitely reach out for support. Like I wouldn't be and quickly for yourself and in an act of self-love, and I wouldn't worry about what anybody else is going to think about, what they're going to do, or anything else. And as a matter of fact, one of the things that broke me from alcoholism was just to say, like, you know what, I understand that everybody thinks I'm doing okay. But I'm not.
You had to be real with yourself because nobody else knew. You know, and that was the same with me with the Vicodin. I was like, look, I'm about to be out this cast in a couple of weeks. This and at the time it was like, where shit, I didn't need to smoke weed. And plus that you can't while you healing, you know, you're not supposed to. Like, yeah. Healing. And I was like, I had to be real with myself because for one, I worked in the healthcare field and I know what medicine does to you, Western medicine. And so I had to be completely real with myself, and we ain't judging you because like we said, we've had our alcohol, we've had our
food addiction,
both of us, and we've had used weed excessively. I'm not a pill popper, even though I was for a short period of time for the hand, but I've never been into that prior to that or after that, nor with the syrup.
I probably could have been. My body just wouldn't let me.
I had to be real with myself and be like, girl, don't risk it. No, mom. You know, so because I knew it ran in my family. Like I'm raised around that, like very closely, and I was able to. I've always been a person not to go too far excessive because I'm like, nah, I'm gonna pull it back real quick, but if you're not that person or you don't know and it got out of hand for you, please reach out to somebody. Please do, because there's so many more coping methods that can truly.
And food was my biggest one, and that is the most accepted one because you could be food.
Oh yeah,
gluttony was my biggest one, and you could go and commit that crime with anybody over and over again and in front of everybody and won't nobody say too much.
And it's not illegal. You don't lose high.
And won't nobody say too much at all.
Nobody gonna say too much.
No, you know what I mean.
Say too much, and
they'll call themselves a foodie. And many other things, many other titles that will come up besides that. But yeah, you know, so self-observation, pay attention to yourself and really know, like, are your coping mechanisms working for you or are they not working for you? How can you change and adjust them? Tap into some skills that you could be developing while coping, things that we like to do with our hands.
And crocheting, sewing,
and dancing,
writing. Boxing was a big coping method for me. That's when I discovered I love to box, and I boxed for years. And that's what actually started my workout thing. So boxing, like certain sports that you like, swimming, some people are artistic, lyrically artistic, singing, rapping, poems, like try it all, baby. You gonna know what you're good at.
I used to write a lot of poems.
I used to love writing poems. I actually read a book and I never officially published it, a poem book. I did.
Yeah. So know yourself. Is it working for you? If it's not working for you, what are some new things that you can bring in? And that's
try some reading. Try to pick up a book. You know, some people go, I don't like to read. Well, have you ever been able to sit still long enough to challenge yourself to read?
Oh yeah, reading is dope.
Reading everything. Reading is everything, okay?
If you don't even like reading, you don't like audio books.
A lot of stuff that you will learn is in a book. It's not on TV. It's not on, some stuff you can find on YouTube now. Or get audiobooks. You know, I tell people that don't like to read, turn on a good audiobook. And here's a money saver for you. A lot of audiobooks are on YouTube for free.
Yeah. Oh, YouTube. YouTube is YouTube got meditation techniques, self-love. YouTube is the shit. Like YouTube was the usher of the new generation. They just welcome, not the new generation, of the age of information. YouTube was the leading factor in
Yeah.
ushering us
Like
into
they say
the
now,
age
she want
of
to be a surgeon, go on
information.
YouTube. You know, it's a tutorial for everything, and
It's every single
definitely
thing.
fun.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to bring up, which the Lovebug actually told me about, and that's how I got some of my certifications and classes and things like that, is Udemy. There's so much stuff on there, and we can drop the link below because there's a lot of stuff on there. You can go play, and when they have a sale,
There's
they have
multiple.
a sale. Because some stuff
Yeah.
be like really expensive, and then it'll go on sale for like $11.99. Wait, by the holidays.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that, or
Forget even Udemy. It is multiple methods of educating yourself, and Google is the first start. Like anything that you find
Yeah.
yourself really interested in, once you put in that Googler, you can find free classes, free courses, videos,
Yep.
and unlimited information. Like that's why I love being alive in today, like today, because outside of YouTube,
Yeah,
wait,
'cause
does
I'll Google
Google
something
own
real quick.
YouTube?
I'll Google it. What's this about? What's that? And that's what I did when I first did the shoes. Was I Googled what's the best glue to use? What's the best this to use?
Yeah.
That to use.
And shit, the librarian.
And that's how I ended up creating my first custom shoe, because I researched it all within. Well, I was at work. I was supposed to be doing work, and I wasn't. Slow. And I was in my
Working on creating a side hustle while
yeah,
at
and I was like, I
hustle.
want to make these for myself when I get home. How do you do this? That's the type of person I am, because I don't half-ass things, and I have to know, like, what's the best of this? What's the best glue? What's the stone? That's how I learned about Swarovski, and knowing that it's Australian gem and how it brings value and things like that, because I literally researched all that stuff before I went home and bought it and made my shoe.
That concludes this episode. I do not wish to survive. I want to live.